And now, last but not least, our next speaker, she's a health and breathwork expert. She's a yoga teacher, and she describes herself as a mystery girl, a mystic girl. I just asked her, how can I, what can I say? So please welcome on stage with me, Carrie.
I'm also one that loves to drink wine. And I'm going to take my shoes off if that's okay.
Sure.
Hi, everyone.
It's your turn.
Oh, we're going already. Okay, the 12 minutes is a little daunting. Thank you. So, let's get right into it, yeah? You become what you believe yourself to be. Who here can resonate with that? Raise your hands. Do you guys believe this? Yeah. What about this one? Your thoughts become your things. Does anyone believe that? Yeah, right? So these two statements have been such influence in my life because I truly believe we become what we think we are. We become who we believe we are. And when we start to recognize the ways in which we are not, when we start to look at all of the ways that we've constructed our experience through our thoughts, through our beliefs, through our world, we can start to really recognize the patterns and the ways in which we've limited our experience on this planet. Everything starts with consciousness. This moment, the new exploration of you, new opportunities, the ability to step into your highest potential, it all starts with conscious awareness. So I ask you a question. Who are you? Do you really know who you are? And what if I told you that you have absolutely no idea who you really are? Would your ego flare up? Would you be like, no, I fucking know who I am. This is who I am. Would you lean back and start to question that with a willingness to open your heart and discover? You see, most of us have not done the work. Most of us have not dropped in to actually realize all that we are. So I ask you again, who are you? Ask yourself this question, right? Who am I and what am I aiming to become? So a little bit about me, as Patrick said, I like to call myself a gypsy. I've been traveling the world for 2 years, but my obsession really for the last decade has been the conditional experiences of life. Why we are here on this earth, conscious expansion and enlightenment, and coming into this place of pranic wholeness. So I am a healer, I am a yoga, breathwork, and meditation teacher, and I'm a bunch of other identities that I like to kind of take on and play around. But I'm actually none of those things. Those are the ways in which I describe myself, and how I describe myself is actually what is shaping my world. There are two aspects of ourself. Do you guys know this? There are two of you, at least two of you, probably many more than that, yeah. There are two aspects of who you are. There's that which is source, which is soul, that leans back and is the witness of your experience. So the source and the soul is we are that experiencing the mind thinking. But then there is this other aspect of yourself as well. It's the ego. It's your creative capacity to transform thought into material form. But throughout our experience, from our childhood, from such a young age, we have been primarily conditioned to exist only within the ego. And when you exist only within the state of the ego, you are actually limiting your experience of your life. You are limiting your experience because the ego is only associated to the mind. It's only one aspect of yourself, and it's limited. So the question then becomes, well, what has shaped our thoughts, and how do we create harmony within these two aspects of ourself? It's one of those questions where, again, it's this openness, this open heart and willingness to lean into the acknowledgement that you might not really know who you are, and the desire to discover all that you are meant to be. Throughout the West, we have been programmed and conditioned to look at progress as the highest valued commodity. We have been conditioned from such a young age to go to school, which is very similar to prison if you think about it. We are taught when to pee and when to eat and when to fall out of line, right? We have to raise our hand to go to the bathroom. It's so fascinating from such a young age how we are conditioning our children. But the progress, we celebrate it. We celebrate it when our kids get good grades. We celebrate it when they graduate. We celebrate it when they complete a grade. We celebrate it when they go to school. We celebrate it when they get a degree. We celebrate it when they get that cubicle job. We celebrate it. And then what do our parents do? My daughter's a doctor. And they reaffirm it. So then we are constantly trying to run towards this projection, illusion of who we believe we are. So I'm a little obsessed with consciousness and enlightenment. And what I really truly believe enlightenment is expanded consciousness. It's just simply a state of awareness. A state of true knowing who you are, who you really are beyond your ego's conception of yourself. I'm going to repeat that again. Beyond your ego's conception of yourself. Do you guys know who you are? No hands are raised. Okay. There's a couple of you. I know a couple of you, so I know some of you guys have done this work. And the fascinating thing about this awareness is that our thoughts really do become our thing. So if we think that we are shit in business, do you believe you will go out and acquire the skills to be the incredible entrepreneur that you want to be? No, right? If you constantly believe that you are a failure, that you are doomed for failure, that you are a victim of this life, what will happen? Your life will constantly reproduce what you are creating. So how do you bypass the intellectual mind and get into a state of not only understanding who you truly are, but acknowledging and appreciating and loving for you exactly where you are, that you are on this path, that we are all on our way. I'm by no means Yoga Jesus. I think one day I'm hoping to get there. I thought that was funny. Didn't land that well, but I thought it was funny. So before we really understand who we are, we have to witness all that we are not. We are not only the limited perception of what you believe you are throughout the constructs of your ego, right? You are so much more than that. And I love this picture. It is beyond the body. So you are not the roles that you play in society. You're not the stories that you've told, maybe on the stage, maybe with your friends. You are not the perceptual image of who you think you are. You're not what you believe others perceive you to be. You are not your age, or your height, or your weight, or your name, or even the address of where you grew up. You are none of those things. So if there are no ways in which to identify yourself, how do you do so? How do you figure out who you are? I find this question so fascinating because it has been my obsession of really diving in and understanding this duality of self, this acknowledgement that it needs to be a marriage of both our ego, that which is pushing forward, and that which is leaning back. And we have been so conditioned through the constructs of our mind. If we are only choosing to believe, I am Carrie, I am a healer, you are limited to ever becoming any more than that which you constantly reaffirm. The universe is this incredible, unfolding, beautiful journey. It is consistent of form. Me, you, we're all form, we're all made from matter. This stage, the last time I looked, was form, particles and matter. But the universe is also formless. It is vibration. It is consciousness. And it is energy. You guys all know that you have a consciousness, right? Raise your hand if you know that you have a consciousness. I know that's a silly question, but sometimes. So did you know that energy also has a consciousness? No? Well, energy does, yeah, kind of, right? So energy has a consciousness. It is a field of vibrational information. Some people call that God. Some people call it the universe. Some people call it divine intervention. But it is that place within yourself that is pulling you forward. And what if I told you there is actually a vibrational version of you that is calling you into your greatest potential? And the only thing that is limiting it is you. Would you guys be into that? Yeah? So how do you go about starting to unweave all that you think you are and come into wholeness, unification of what I like to call of the ego and the soul? Well, I'm a big advocate of yoga, of meditation, of breath work, but really it's just about stepping into the seat of witness, of recognizing that you are not your thoughts. You are that which is experiencing the mind thinking. And once you can take a passenger role within your life and uncover all that you are not, uncover all of the ways in which you've constructed your reality, in which you've constructed the belief systems that you have, you can tear down the walls of limitation and step into the true power that you are. Does that sound good? Yeah? Okay, so I talked a little fast, so I'm actually, yeah. So I'll keep going. So you are enough, right? Because that's a good statement to say, you are enough. And this work is scary. It's not like, oh, let's go play in a meadow and fucking do some yoga. It's fucking scary. It's looking at yourself and recognizing all the ways in which you've lied to you. But when you do that from a place of wholeness and from a place of heart, I guarantee you, your life will shift and move in directions and expansions that you've never even dreamed of. Because you were here, you were brought here with such a divine gift. You were brought here with such innate wisdom. And the only thing that's standing in your way is your mind, in the way that it constructs your reality. So can you accept all the ways in which you are not? Okay, good. The 12 minutes is really fascinating.
Nice.
Thank you.
I feel like you raised the consciousness of this room a little
Yes,
bit. Right?
yes. And the wine of this room. Yes, please ask me questions.